Hey, we're live. How are you? Helen Martin here from helenmartinonline.com. How are you today? Hope you're having an awesome day, whatever part of the day it is for you, day, morning, evening, afternoon. I just wanted to have a little chat with you today to share, I guess, light's not too good there. Let's just move around a bit and get some better light. To share with you hey Rob, how are you? Great to see you on live. Well done for staying up late. Gee, light's not that good there either. I just want to share with you sort of an experience that I had in Orlando last week. Some of you know that I travelled to Orlando and did some special training with my mentors last week. And from that training, so it's a little bit personal, which I'll share with you in a moment, but from that journey, I learned some really critical things about myself and what sort of takes for me to be successful. And so I just really want to share that with you and just have a chat to you sort of about that experience, if you like. If you are new to me, you've never been on a live before of mine, put the number 1 down below. If you are live at all, then just say hello and tell me where you're coming in from, or if you're catching the replay at some stage, then just put the word replay down below so I can go and say hello to you afterwards. But I just want to share with you, where's the light going? Oh, that might be a little bit better. I just want to share with you, where am I? We'll stop there. I just want to share with you the experience that I had in Orlando, and I'll just give you a little bit of a backstory. I was invited to go to Orlando quite short notice from my mentors to attend some very special training. So huge opportunity for me. And although it's very difficult to get from Australia to America, you know, particularly with flights and that at such short notice, it was definitely not an opportunity I was going to miss. So off I went. Took that opportunity, so excited to be invited, and we were in the training. I had a little bit of a rocky start. That's because I got a really bad headache. I couldn't shift it, and day 1 of the training, about 2 hours in, if that, I had to remove myself from the room to actually be sick. So I'm a migraine sufferer. I have been all my life. I know how to manage them. I know what works, but sometimes they just catch me off guard, and particularly when I'm away and I don't have the things around me that I need. It sometimes catches me short. So it wasn't the best start to the training, but thankfully everyone was really, you know, understanding in that situation, and they took care of me and I got through it. But on the second day, this is really what I want to share with you. On the second day, well, just let me put this in context. I'm in a room with very influential people. So it's the owners of the company, existing mentors of the company, multiple millionaires, the owners of the company, and then there's me and a couple of others that were sort of invited. So you can imagine how intimidating that can be when you're not at that level. It doesn't mean that, you know, I'm not passionate or good at what I do. It's just mean I'm not at that level yet. So you get a little bit intimidated. When you're intimidated, you have the potential to be a little bit quiet. So we're in the second day. I've pretty much got over my headache, so that's a good thing. But right in the middle of one of the facilitators delivering some of their training, one of the other mentors got up, that's an existing mentor of the company, and pretty much told us off. I was going to say something else then, but I'll be polite. Pretty much yelled at all of us and said, don't you understand that you have been specifically handpicked and invited to attend this training? Why aren't any of you talking? You're not participating enough. You know, why aren't you grasping this opportunity, etc. So it was interesting, the reaction from the room. Not a lot of people in the room, but you know, people reacted differently to that. My reaction to that is my stomach went up to my throat and my heart started beating really fast. So how that affected me was, I'm like, you idiot. You've flown all the way from Australia to Orlando to attend this training, and you're not really contributing the best way that you can. So the pit of my stomach that went to my throat was like, you're wasting this opportunity, you're losing this opportunity, you're not proving to be the person that they believe you, to be. So it really physically affected me. From that point on, it was actually I'm really grateful for that experience, because from that point on, the mood in the room changed. Everybody interacted a lot more. We all participated a lot more, and I had conversations with people that I probably would otherwise not have had about their belief in me and why I was there, and all the rest of it. So it took a really massive shake-up to sort of get that feeling of the pit of my stomach coming to my throat, and it's like, oh, what are you doing, girl? You've travelled all this way, you've flown for over 28 hours, I think it was, on the way over, 30 plus on the way back, and you're not really grasping the opportunity. So in my mind, I was, but if you really think about grasping opportunities that are in front of you, how do you take responsibility for that? So my message here that I really want to get through to you is, when we have an entrepreneurial flair, and if you're in a home-based business or you're trying to build your business online, then whether you realize it or not, you have an entrepreneurial tendency. So you think differently to how a lot of people think. Most people are brought up, and that's just society. Society dictates. People get a 9-to-5 job, they work until they're 65, whatever, and then get, retirement, and you just hope that there's enough money in your retirement for as long as you live. That's what society dictates people do in their life. Now, there are a lot of people out there like me, and probably like you, that want more out of life. We don't want to be dictated to through a boss. We don't want to be told when we can go on our holidays. We just want more out of life. We want more income in life because, that gives us better choices, etc. So whether you actually acknowledge it or not, if that's you, then you've probably got a bit of an entrepreneurial flair. Now, if that is you, it can be a lonely journey. And no one, Rob, yes, absolutely. No one is holding your hand. No one is telling you what to do. No one is making you do anything. It is completely up to you. Now, this is the message that I sort of got for myself in Orlando, is complete self-responsibility for where I was, how I was showing up to that training, how I was participating, and how I come home with that information. So firstly, it's about seeing opportunities when they arise, but not only seeing the opportunities, don't blow the opportunity. So you can see opportunity. If you're in a home-based business, you've probably seen an opportunity, but what are you doing with it? What are you doing with that opportunity? Are you sitting back and not doing anything with it? Are you not prospecting anybody? If you're trying to build your business online, are you not doing Facebook Lives? Are you not doing the training that you need to do to get where you need to go? So you might see opportunity, but are you really grasping that opportunity and doing with it what you should to be successful? Now, the only way you're going to achieve that is truly, truly grasp the concept of self-responsibility. And I got that from Orlando. It's like, no one else is going to make this opportunity what it is to its maximum other than me. And what I do with that information when I get home is really, really important. So everything that I learnt, I could shelve it if I want to, because life just gets in the way. I come back home, I get back to routine, my kids are, busy, I've got to get back to my own business, stuff like that. But that's not where I see this opportunity. I've been given an opportunity, I've attended the training, and now I come home and I implement what I've learnt. But it's full self-responsibility. So the third one that comes into play with that is action. No one can grow your business but you. If you're building your business online, and this is what I see all the time, people buy resources and they don't do anything with it. People get access to training and they don't do anything with it. So where you've seen an opportunity, but you're not grasping the opportunity because you're not taking self-responsibility for that opportunity, and you're definitely not taking any action. So I had somebody that reached out to me recently, I'll just give you another example, and we had back and forth conversation about how they really want to grow their home-based business, they're really struggling, they really need this to work, etc., etc., etc. And so I've offered them all the training in my a private Facebook group, and I offered them to get on a call, complimentary call, just to talk them through it and to give them some ideas. The note that I got back is, I don't have 5 minutes to scratch myself, let alone be on a 30-minute call. You know what that tells me? That is not somebody who's seen opportunity. That is not somebody that has any self-responsibility for their business, although they've just spent the last, I don't know how many messages complaining about their business and how it's not growing. Because you've been offered an opportunity to have a chat with somebody to help you move forward, and they've said, I haven't got 5 minutes to scratch, let alone get on a call. So if you want to survive in a home-based business, if you want to survive in building a business online, one, see opportunity when it presents itself. If you're in a home-based business and you've got leaders around you and you're too scared to talk to those leaders or reach out for help, or there's a guru out there online and you're too scared to send them a message and say, do you mind if I ask you a question? That is not seizing opportunity. If you come across somebody online or somebody comes into your path for some reason and you think, I think this person can help me, that is an opportunity. Grab it, grasp it, reach out to the person, take it for what it is. So take self-responsibility for the opportunity that you've seen and maximize it. And when you take that self-responsibility, that only ever leads you to action. So if there is no action with your self-responsibility, then you're not going to make it in this business. So if you're, one of those people that's bought heaps of courses because you want to build your business online, but they're all still sitting on the shelf and you've done nothing with them, then where's your self-responsibility with seeing the opportunity that you saw in buying that book or that resource or whatever it is, but you've got no responsibility with doing anything with it. You're not taking any action with it. So the three things really do make a massive difference into being successful. Rob, that's true. It's like buying 100 books, putting them on the bookcase and not reading them. Pretty much exactly what I just said before, Rob. I couldn't agree with you before. Now, I'm guilty. Do you know how many courses I've bought? You know how many resources that I've bought and online, you get on a webinar and you watch something and they sell something at the end and you buy it. That's me. I'm one of those people. I have spent tens of thousands of dollars on my entrepreneurial journey, and particularly building my business online and buying different things that I needed, that I really didn't need and I haven't used. That's my own fault, and that's my own self-responsibility of recognising, what I need to do to be successful. You've done it too, Rob. Yep, I'm sure 1 million people have that are in the home-based business, definitely building a business online. So don't be one of those people. To me, it's just all part of my lesson. It's just part of my journey. It makes me a better mentor and a coach to others when I've stuffed up myself. I'm not afraid of making mistakes because mistakes makes me a better mentor. If I've already made the mistakes, then I can warn people about, not what to do because I've already done it. So I'm not scared of failing. I'm not scared of making mistakes, because that makes me a better person, it makes me a better entrepreneur, and it makes me more successful in my business. So don't be fearful of opportunity. When you see opportunity, grab it. But more importantly with that opportunity, hey Courtney, how you going? Lovely to see you on live. Here you go, Courtney. Courtney loves the view. So that's for you, Courtney. Hey Kelly, how are you? Lovely to see you on live. So it's a matter of seizing those opportunities. I'm really, I guess I'm good at seizing opportunity. I don't fly halfway across the world unless I see opportunity. So I have done things people ordinarily won't do. So it does make me a better leader, Rob. So when I see opportunity, whenever there's opportunity, there's usually risk. And that's what people, thanks Courtney, that's what people often stay away from. And, a Facebook Live I did earlier in the week was, and I've talked about this a few times in the last few weeks, your brain is inherently wired to protect you from fear and to protect you from risk. So unless you've got in the forefront of your mind and you're really conscious of that, you'll probably hold yourself back from doing things. You would probably hold yourself back from a lot of the things that I've done, like traveling a halfway across the world to go to workshops and attend training. But look at the doors that those opportunities have opened up for me. So by taking that risk, I've been to workshops, excuse me, excuse me, I don't have any water around me. And, you know, that's opened other doors for me that led me to being in Orlando last week. But as I mentioned, you know, earlier with, you know, being yelled at and, you know, shocked and my stomach went through to my throat and I seized the opportunity and went there. But I was sitting there like a wet fish, not saying anything and really grasping the opportunity. So that was my lesson to learn. And why I just want to pass it on to you is those three, you know, critical steps. Courtney, you are a rock star, 24-hour trips to the States. It's a long way. But I get my inspiration from the people that I surround myself with. You know, I know you understand this and the lessons that I learnt. You know, Courtney, I just know that you get that. I've forgotten what I was going to say. That's okay. It always sort of comes back to me. But just realising opportunity when it's in front of you, but don't let that opportunity slip you by. If there are people that you can talk to, if there's mentors that you can communicate with, if there's questions that you can ask, if there's things that, oh good Courtney, if there's things that you can learn, grasp that opportunity. So that second thing being self-responsibility, an entrepreneurial journey is a lonely one. You don't have a boss behind you threatening to fire you if you don't do X, Y, Z. There's no one in your corner. Well, there's probably people in your corner. That's probably the wrong thing to say. But it's up to your self-responsibility and not saying things out when you're being yelled at, pick yourself up. Absolutely, Courtney. Taking self-responsibility that why am I being yelled at? You know, in the case of Orlando, we were being yelled at because no one was really sort of participating. So take it for what it is and just take that self-responsibility for being a better person and do the work you need to do. And I get tired of hearing of people's excuses on this journey. I don't have time. I don't have 5 minutes to scratch myself, the example I gave you before, and when I offered somebody a call. A 30-minute strategy call, I offered somebody and they said, I don't have 5 minutes to scratch myself, let alone 30 minutes to talk to you. And it's like, okay, you're probably never going to make it in the entrepreneurial world because that's not, you know, Courtney, yes, we were yelled at. It's okay, we move on. Absolutely. We're big enough and ugly enough to pick ourselves up and move on. But you've got to take the self-responsibility for the journey that you're on and the business that you are in, because you're not guaranteed a wage and you don't have a boss standing over your shoulder saying do this, do that and do it by the end of the day. Self-responsibility is what is going to make you successful or otherwise. They're definitely not going to make it. No, they're not, Rob. And it's really interesting, the further I go on this in this industry and on this journey, is how quickly I can pick up from the people that I'm talking to whether they're going to make it or not. Courtney, oh my God, that's not good. Someone would be lucky to have 30 minutes with you to stretch. Well, thank you, Courtney. I appreciate the compliment. But yeah, it's really quite easy for me to now picking up from someone's language whether they're really committed to this journey or not. And it's not a journey for everybody, and that's okay. But seizing opportunity when you get it, you know, if you do invest in resources and training, or so, take self-responsibility for that, and don't blame life for the fact that you haven't got through the training. You haven't done what you need to do. I haven't got enough time. I haven't got enough money. You know, all the excuses that we hear, that's not self-responsibility. Self-responsibility would be something like, I actually don't have the money right now, but I'm saving up because this is something that I see that's really beneficial. So that's acknowledging what your limits are, but still taking self-responsibility and action to get, you know, where you need to go. So seize opportunity. Yeah, Courtney, there's always an excuse. Seize opportunity when you see it. I do that all the time. I jump on planes and go to America to seize opportunity. But look at my growth. And with my growth comes the income. So take risks, see opportunity, take risks. If you want to talk to somebody you've never talked before, if you want to reach out to a leader, a mentor of yours, whatever, take those risks, take that opportunity when it's smack bang, hitting you on the face. If you come across somebody online, if you come across a leader in your network marketing business and you're too scared to talk to them, get over it. Get out of your own way. Take full self-responsibility for your success in your business. And the way you do that is by taking action. So do the things that make you uncomfortable. Do the things that are risky. That's the only way you're going to make it in this business. So if you're not prepared to do those 3 things, it's probably going to be quite hard for you to be successful in this business. So we all know success is on the other side of fear. Doing uncomfortable things, doing risky things, committing to things that we don't really want to do, doing that training that you really don't have time to do, but you know you need to do the training to learn what you need to learn to move forward. Just prioritize and take the action that you need to take to get where you want to go. Life is worth it. You are worth it. So sometimes we need to be yelled at to have an impact, but I got yelled at in Orlando and it had an impact, but in a good way. So, Rob, get over yourself, remember your why. Yeah, there's a whole nother story about why, which I'll get into on another Facebook Live, Rob, but that's a really interesting word. That's a topic for another day. But Courtney, you've nailed it on the head. Yeah, it's all worth it, because if you want to have what other people don't have, you have to do what other people are not going to do. And yeah, it's not always easy, but it's so worth it. And this journey, Courtney, you know what I mean by the word why. This journey, the people that you come across, the people that you meet, you guys that are on live with me right now, that's what makes this journey so awesome, because we all want to lift each other up. We all want to see each other succeed, and we all want to see each other make more money and have more choices and have a better quality of life. So is it worth it? Damn straight it's worth it. You've just got to have the guts, the determination, take the risks, fight through the fear, and take the action necessary to get you there. And that's why there's people like me here to help you get there. In my private Facebook group, I can give you step-by-step training. Dedication, Rob, absolutely. Courtney, I'm grateful I met you. I would not have bumped into you in Starbucks in Sydney. Probably not. But likewise, Courtney, the people that you meet along this journey is, what makes it so special. And we all want each other to do well, and you can't always say that in traditional business. People are often fearful of somebody learning more than them because they might take their job or something like that. Like bosses, executives, they don't want to teach people all their tricks of the trade, because if their employee gets more knowledgeable than they do, then they're a threat to them in their business. Like, people don't always lift each other up in traditional business. But certainly in the entrepreneurial world we do, and everybody loves to see each other, successful. But just to wrap up, those 3 things that are really important: seize opportunity when you come across it, and don't let risk get in the way. So if you see the opportunity to do some training that might help you, go to a conference, get invited to things. Don't let fear or risk sort of hold you back. Take full self-responsibility for your journey. And, if you're sitting quiet in a workshop in Orlando and somebody yells at you, then take full responsibility for that, which I did. And, it all turned around. It was wonderful. But, that, as I said before, what that allowed for is afterwards conversations that wouldn't have happened otherwise. And honestly, I learnt that, my mentors have more belief in me than I do in myself. And it's just taking self-responsibility for that. And it's like, well, if they can believe in me, then I believe in me. I can do this. We can all do more than what we think we can. So I hope that's helpful in some way to you, just giving you a bit of a message as to some of the things that I have experienced for myself, in my entrepreneurial journey, and just some of the things that you need to be aware of to ensure that your journey is a positive one, and what to, be aware of, moving forward so you can get where you want to go. So thank you very much for anybody that's listened in live or anybody that catches the replay. You know, just put the word replay down below so I can, say hello to you afterwards. Thanks, Rob, for staying up late again and catching my live and being on with me. I love your interaction. Courtney, it's always a pleasure to have you on, and anyone else that's sort of here. If you do need some more help with building your, business online, and you are open to getting more step-by-step training like what I offer in my private Facebook group, then just put the number 3 down below, and I'll follow up with you about what's required to get in that group, because there is a little, small prerequisite. Thanks, Courtney. Love you, girl. So I will catch you on my next Facebook Live. It won't be tomorrow now. I've got commitments tomorrow, but I will see you next week with some more information and training. And what I want to concentrate on next week is more about, how do you, back to Facebook stuff, like how do you get more engagement? How do you stand out from the crowd on, on social media? Things like that. So we'll get more into some Facebook training next week. So I will see you then. Bye. See ya.